Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor. Wanted to show you what I did this morning. This is coinpaprika.com. I was looking at this is my list. I created my own favorites list. I think I've shown this to you before. But I was looking at the returns, or the lack thereof, over the last 24 hours. And Quant had taken a dive, okay, down 15%. So what I did is I went in and accumulated more Quant this morning. That was on my agenda this morning. Okay, moving along. Hey, check this out. Link2, it's going until July 31st. Listen to what Ray Fuentes over at Link2 says.
Hey, what's going on, family and friends? Ray Fuentes here, Community Director at Link2. I've got some big XRP news to share. Link2 just announced we're retiring the XRP airdrop. It's the end of an era. But before we do, we're going to make it rain XRP one last time, so listen up closely, all you savage investors. Invest $10,000 into any private company available on Link2's platform via wire transfer, wallet, or IRA, and Link2 will airdrop you $1,000 in XRP, the greatest digital asset ever created, right to your Uphold wallet. I mean,
there you go. So they're doing that. The promo will be over July 31st, and they're not doing it anymore. Okay, SEC is probing Coinbase for allegedly listing securities. Now, Eleanor Terrett is on this case, and this is interesting right here. She said, right here, she says, in response to the Coinbase investigation, an official close to one of the largest crypto exchanges says this is a direct response to Congress increasingly understanding that the CFTC or even an SRO is the best way to regulate an industry as dynamic as crypto. It's a last-ditch effort by Gary Gensler, folks, to try and take back control before the Loomis-Gillibrand bill passes or the Republicans take back office. Gary Gensler believes that if he can get one major arrest or court win, he will be able to save face and possibly even claw back control from the CFTC. So you have an SEC chairman who is basically at odds with the entire country and is working in his own self-interest to try to save his little pipsqueak reputation and grab as a power grab for the SEC. That's what's wrong with this country, is that now we don't have, this agency does not any longer work on behalf of the people. It's working on behalf of whoever's behind Gary Gensler and their power grab and his little pipsqueak legacy. That's what this is about. These people are sick, okay? This is not about protecting investors, never was, and this guy ought to be ashamed of himself. And whoever's behind him, these are some bad hombres. All right, and I think we know a lot of them, by the way. And also, Jim Cramer has been activated, folks, okay? Jim Cramer has been activated. His narrative boss has said, Jim, put the all crypto or securities plan in motion. And Jim, of course, said, yes, sir. I've been waiting for the SEC investigation of Coinbase to happen for ages. Now, here we go. You can't just do what you want with securities in this country. He is nothing but the SEC's little B word, as my 10-year-old says, is what he is. Now, in the last few weeks, folks, we've shown you that we showed you the video where the Homeland Security lady, she said that they had an agent that went and met with what she called the 4 Satoshi. She said there was 4 of them that were Satoshi Nakamoto. So we know that Homeland Security knows who they are. Well, remember Katie Haun? Remember the same Katie Haun who worked with Andreessen Horowitz and was on Coinbase board? We also know that she worked with Homeland Security. She was the one that, well, first of all, she was the one that sued Ripple back and got a settlement for $700,000 fine, calling XRP a virtual currency. But then she was also involved in with Andreessen Horowitz and all of them, and she was one of the people running their fund. Actually was one of the ones over there with Bill Hinman, if you remember, okay? Well, if you look right here, Haun was recently appointed digital currency, this is back in 2015, or it was before that, 14, 13, whatever. For Northern California, U.S. Department of Justice leads a multi-agency task force charged with looking into digital currencies that include FBI, Secret Service, Internal Revenue Service, and Department of Homeland Security. So if you believe that Katie Hawn did not have the same information that Homeland Security had, which was the identity of the 4 Satoshis, then I still have an igloo that's for sale here in South Georgia, okay? Even though it melts within 24 hours or less, it's a great igloo, and you can buy it if you believe that she wouldn't have the same knowledge. Now, you want to talk about biggest controversies in the history of finance? What would happen if the world found out that there was a handful, few hundred people in the United States who have known who Satoshi was all along? And in her case, she runs a freaking hedge fund and went to Andreessen Horowitz. And if she knew, did they know? I'm not saying she did know. I'm saying, how would she not know? That's what I'm saying. And if she did, damn the torpedoes, folks. Now, after John Deaton's motion yesterday, my question was for the attorneys. Because remember, John Deaton got in front of the judge now with his motion. He got in front of the judge, the Hinman, I'll show it to you in a second. For attorneys out there, what legal obligation does a federal judge have when they come across criminal conduct in the course of a case? Jeremy Hogan says, a judge that becomes aware of criminal activity in a civil case will refer the issue to the relevant prosecutorial office. I've seen it done before. Well, here's what John Deaton, this is from Daniel, here's what John Deaton put in front of that judge yesterday, is this email to Hinman from the ethics office at the SEC. In this part right here, you have a bar under the criminal financial conflict with Simpson Thatcher, is what she's saying. In other words, don't have anything to do with them because it comes under a criminal financial conflict, and he did it anyway. So now the judge she has become aware of criminal activity, and we will see what she does with it. Eleanor Terrett today is going to be getting with Charles Gasparino, and they're going to be doing a Twitter Live with John Deaton to discuss his explosive response to the SEC's motion to revoke Amici status and to bar him from further court proceedings. So they're going to do a whole Twitter Live video on that. Now, Brookes Aunt of Ripple looking forward to discussing the future of digital assets infrastructure and crypto on my panel at Singapore Blockchain Week 2022. You'll never guess who's going to be there with Brookes Aunt. There he is. And then right down here would be Hester Pierce. So Brooks, be sure and ask Hester Pierce what she thinks about Bill Hinman ignoring the ethics office and going and hanging out with and communicating with Simpson Thatcher anyway. She ought to weigh in on it too. This from Ripple, we're partnering with FOMO Pay, the Singapore-based payments institution, to improve its cross-border treasury flows using ODL. This will allow FOMO Pay to achieve affordable and instant settlement in Euro and USD globally. Now, you got to see this, folks. Look, I'm not weighing in one way or the other on the Ukraine war and all that stuff. But I will tell you that what Putin says right here, he's 1,000% right. Listen to what he says about how the U.S. and Europe have been doing, or how they've been treating the monetary system and all these fiat currencies. Watch this.
Надвигающийся продовольственный кризис. Наверняка специалисты знают о том, что кризис-то начал возникать еще в период борьбы с пандемией. И начал он возникать в связи с тем, что в развитых экономиках начали злоупотреблять своим монопольным положением в валютной сфере. Включили печатный станок. Вот в Соединенных Штатах напечатали 5,9.
Look at that. They turned on the printing machine in the U.S. and printed $5.9 trillion. That's 38% of the entire money supply. They printed it over 2 years, which is roughly the sum of what was printed in the previous 40 years.
Это 38% денежной массы за 2 года напечатали. Примерно столько, сколько печатали за предыдущие 40 лет. Темп такой же.
The same rate. And in the Eurozone, they printed 2.5 trillion euro. The released this month they released this money into the economy and gave it out to the people, which isn't bad per se. So we utilized a similar tactic.
В еврозоне напечатали 2,5 триллиона евро. За счет этих средств, которые пустили в экономику, начали гражданам раздавать, что вроде бы и неплохо. И мы делали примерно то же самое, но мы делали это все-таки точечно.
We were very careful. It was sparingly done, and as such,
за счет дефицита бюджетов начали.
The anti-pandemic measures were funded from budget deficits, which led to them buying up food supplies in global market. You know what? He's basically talking about how irresponsible all the U.S. and Europe have been with their monetary policy, and he's 1,000% right. Look, the U.S. has had the luxury of having the world reserve currency for all this time, and basically used it to their advantage, and and if you were these other countries, you'd be pissed off too. And you know what else you'd be doing? You'd be buying gold. Look at this. China's net gold imports via Hong Kong jumped almost 5-fold in June as banks stepped up purchases. China continues to stockpile. So does the digital asset investor. I'm accumulating gold in my Glint account. I'm going to buy more this week. I'm making sure I have plenty of physical gold, which you can also buy through Glint, but I'm making sure that I accumulate plenty of gold in my Glint account. The link to this will be in the top of the description. I'm accumulating this gold so that because I've got my debit card and I can my debit MasterCard, and I can accumulate this gold so that if things get really bad, if we do have a food crisis, if food prices start going crazy, well, it stands to reason that precious metals will be going crazy, especially now that JP Morgan has been busted for manipulating the precious metals market. So maybe they'll be hesitant to try to manipulate the prices when they start skyrocketing as a result of all this irresponsible monetary policy. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family. Yeah, I'm accumulating crypto like Quant I did this morning. I'm accumulating gold. Gold's God's money, folks. It's not going anywhere. Tell your friends and family that. Thanks for